What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am in a pretty good mood. Got some things done today that have been eating at me for a while to get done on Project Snowball, and you'll notice it's not here anymore, right? So it should be right here. This is where it's been for weeks. I got it in the shop, and you've probably been wondering all along why I haven't been working on it in the shop, because I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get the motor in if I could get the boom high enough and clear the door. And actually that was quite a ballet to get it in there without knocking the door the rest of the way down. You see, I've hit it before. But the truck is in the shop and the motor is sitting on the rear mounts. I've still got to build the front mount. So right now I'm trying to get everything lined up. I ran into a little bit of an issue. I guess I got, big surprise, another one of the measurements off on the motor mounts when I built them. It's sitting a little higher than it should be, and it's got the drive shaft kind of, the jack shaft kind of out of alignment. Now, part of it is that the new motor mount bushings, being as they're not 50 years old, they're actually a good bit taller than the old mounts, and you see they're, I don't know, a quarter, probably 5/16, maybe even 3/8 taller. Actually, there's a tape measure right here. We can probably measure that. Let's see. What do we have? An inch and what? Inch and 3/4 to just over an inch and a half. Inch and 9/16. I don't know. Yeah. So the mount being a little taller is part of the problem. It may suck down when I actually put the bottom bushing on and tighten it up, but I can't count on that. I need to have everything where it's supposed to be because I have to fabricate a front motor mount here. Now, the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use the original motor mount plate, and I'm going to take the old multi-fuel mount ears off. I'm going to use the plate as a base, and I'm going to make adapters, just different adapters, to go from that to that center mount on the Cummins. So I've got to get my motor where it should be and the drive shaft, the jack shaft, placed properly, because I've got to lock it all down at some point, and it has to be right when I do it. Otherwise, things aren't going to play well together. They're not going to be happy, and something's going to come through the floor and kill me. I don't want that. So I think I may be able to handle it just by angling the engine. But if I try to overcompensate by angling the engine up more, what it's going to do is it's going to throw the front U-joint on the jack shaft out of phase with the rear U-joint. And from the factory, they were pretty much straight, had no angle in them at all. So let me kind of show you what I'm talking about here. You can visibly see how much higher the transmission is than the transfer case now, and it's not cool. It's not supposed to be that way. So what I've been doing is kind of using the floor pan as a reference to measure from. I've got Bo's truck out back that I was using because it's totally stock. So, the lighting down here is going to be terrible for you. On his truck, from the floor to the grease zerk right there, it's 4.5 inches. Right here we've got just shy of 4, like 3 and 5/8. And on the back, from the floor pan to the top lip of the transmission top cover was like 5 inches. And right here, we've only got 4 1/4. Boy, it's hard to see. 4 3/8 maybe. So, now I know if I jack it up more in the front, it will, of course, bring that down. but it'll bring this down a lot faster than it brings that down. What I'm worried about is getting the angle of this flange too steep, because it needs to stay fairly flat. So what really needs to happen is the whole transmission and engine needs to drop straight down about an inch. But there's no easy way to do that. Even if I was to reuse the old motor mount bushings, the old uppers, that would only give me maybe 3/8 of an inch uncompressed. Now, I don't know how much it's going to suck up. Probably not a lot. These aren't like automotive, car motor mounts. They're not soft. So, I don't know. I'm going to have to play around with it and see what I can get out of it. Otherwise, that means I've got to take the drivetrain back out of the truck, cut those mounts apart, and that's going to be a huge headache because they're very well welded together. And then, it wouldn't be a big deal. I've got room. It's not like I don't have the space to move it down an inch, right? I've got plenty of room everywhere. Everything is well cleared. There's nothing that's in danger of hitting anything else. But I really don't want to have to do that because that's a huge step backwards at this point. So I'm going to try to weasel my way around it if I can. But I'm not going to do anything that's going to cause me to get injured or throw the drive shaft out. If it comes to that, then I'll do what I have to do. Yeah, I got the rear frame and all kind of painted up too. I was kind of fighting the rain. I didn't get it quite as well done as I wanted, but it's going to work for now. Probably have to take the air tanks out to run the new rear wiring harness when it gets here. And while I got it in here, I can use my engine hoist there to pull the fuel tank off and do behind it, do the tank and all. Yeah, I primed the straps just to keep them from rusting anymore. But hey, it's coming together. It's nice to see this engine sitting in the frame after as long as I've been working on this thing and as much time and money and effort and headache as I've put into it. I'm ready to see this in here and running and alive. But it is just good to see it in here. You see, I did have to cut probably I think I cut about a 3/8 thick strip off of the frame ear there just to clear the bolts on the new bracket. So keep that in mind if you're going to build your own. Everything else clears well. The steering box has got plenty of room. You could actually rebuild that now without having to move the motor. The air compressor's well cleared. This is just so much nicer in here the way it fits. There's no clearance issues anywhere that there was with the multi-fuel. And you remember on the multi-fuel, the balancer was like way the hell out here, and you couldn't even get the motor mount bolts out. So yeah, the steering box, super accessible. Nothing over here that's gonna be difficult at all. The starter's right there in the open. Never gonna have a hard time getting to it to service it or change it. This is wonderful. I got plenty of motor to firewall clearance. I love it. I'm loving it so far. I just got to figure out the fitment issue of the mounts and the drive shaft, or I keep saying drive shaft, jack shaft. Otherwise, it's all downhill from here, guys. I've got my radiators over there in a box. It's been waiting. I've got to once I get this done, then I can build the frame and bracket for the radiator. Yeah. Anyway, just an update for you guys. I want to keep you in the loop on this, so I'm not going to be those, oh, surprise, the thing's finished and it's back together. Let's go for a test drive. That's stupid. So, thank you for watching. I'm glad you're still following along. Check out our sponsor. He's been a huge help in making this possible with new parts. Big Mike's Motor Pool. His link is down in the description below. And we'll catch you guys next time.